button and that's all.
Okay. So did we have our last talk on last week Sunday? Or is it already 2 weeks?
No, last week Sunday we have our last talk. Then I upload that video the same night, and then we have some discussions with the others. That was last week. This week, I mean last week. Last Sunday was our last meeting.
Okay. So what are we going to talk about today?
What I was thinking, because as we both know, we don't have any kind of agenda or scenario or something, but something grabbed my attention maybe last week and the week before. And I want to hear what you think about it.
Okay.
More and more, I'm starting to read about what would be people what will be the people connection in AI system. More and more people and professionals are talking about how AI and with these tools like Copilot and other coding tools is going to change the game, like the code, writing code and writing software, of course, and apps and so and so. But what would be the role of us, of people, of human being in that system? It's something that really grabbed my attention. And lot people says that our role would be at the end of the system, also in the beginning of the system. And I just wanted to know what you think about it, because I was thinking in the beginning of the system, it is pretty clear we should provide the system with pretty clear and good data. Our role there is clear because we need to prepare that data, we need to clean it up, we need to some kind of transform it and so and so. But the more I think interesting part is after that, that a lot of people now says that a lot of jobs will go there where we are just going to check the quality and checking what AI is giving us and to approve it if it's fine, if, if is it working or no. So I just want to hear your thoughts and maybe have some small discussion on that.
So AI is not going to take away. It's not going to take away good jobs. It might speed up and help, but so like I cannot imagine that 30 years of experience of software development can be replaced. So the way of working, like reading log files and understanding log files, and from there fixing software bugs or fixing setups. It can suggest LLMs or the knowledge inside them. They can suggest a certain direction and they can help us. But it is they're still far, far away of really being autonomous and fixing it themselves. Yeah. So maybe maybe at the speed that this is developing, we can be there in maybe 2 years or maybe 3 years. I think we will be there in 5 years. And the development speed is definitely higher than when we started with the internet. When, so it took us like 25 years to get everybody connected there. But in
Yeah.
AI development, I mean, TensorFlow, do you know when TensorFlow was actually first released? So
I don't
TensorFlow
think
for
so.
me,
If you if you
yeah.
if
So
you, if you tell me when was that, but I'm sure I'm not aware of that.
okay, so I'm just asking my AI assistant here.
Yeah, just
So
yeah, perfect.
I just let my AI assistant search on the internet, and it says TensorFlow, Google's open source framework for machine learning analysis, was released on November 9th, 2015.
Oh, 15. So it's not
So it's already 10 years, eh?
almost yes, years, 18 years, yeah. But talking about Google, um, maybe a few days ago on their uh, Q4 call, I think Google, Sundar Pichai said that 25% of code now in Google is AI generated. 25% from their code now is AI generated. And that's
It is
that's what
good.
makes me interested in it, because for 2 years since AI is booming, for two
Yeah.
years, it's like 25% of their code. What would be after more 2 years or even one
This
year?
is something
That's
this
yeah.
is something that I can underline and subscribe to. So I wouldn't be coding today without AI, right? I'm constantly asking AI. I'm constantly asking, what does this function do? What may this be? Why is this so? And I'm constantly integrating suggested code, but that doesn't liberate us from thinking in a bigger scale. So we are, I think, we're still as humans able to catch the bigger picture. So, but we will see where this goes. I mean, the internet started the same, yeah. So we understood back then that this will be a big change for everybody. And who adopted that first? The porn industry, the gambling people. Yeah. So what do we see in AI? Who are the big adopters? Huh?
I see your point.
Yeah. And then years later, people and shops were brought up, and the first internet magazines went online and so on. But the first adopters were always the red light and the shady areas of our lives. So having Google with 25% of their code still doesn't mean that it can completely replace right now. Yeah. So
I see your
but
point.
I really like it. I really like it. Have you tried code assistants?
Uh, by myself, still no.
Okay.
I attend a small online event organized by Linux Foundation. It was good
Mm-hmm.
webinar. It was like 50 minutes.
Okay.
There were a lot of cool people there, and there was some kind of yeah, hands-on. So I saw how it works. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I saw it work in VS Code
Mm-hmm.
with two extensions. One is
Mm-hmm.
Copilot extension, the other one is Copilot chat extension, where you
Mm-hmm.
can just uh, directly write prompt and asking
Mm-hmm.
in free text what you want. Then it will generate the. It was in Python.
Mhm.
and it's generate the object, the class. Uh, for me, it was strange that even, but it's not strange. That's how LLMs work. Um, Even the prompt was the same. It's generate every time. It generates slightly different code,
Mhm.
and that, by my opinion, is still where uh, there is negatives, because I think that if every time, how can I explain that? For me, the code should be clear, simple, and uh, I understand that there is a lot of ways to do one task or one process with code, but for me, maybe it should be a little bit. Mm, it's not fine generating every time the different responses. That's what I think. Because if you need something, next time when you ask the AI, it will not give you. If you need something specific, let me say that, uh,
Mhm.
it will not return it to you, and you will have to find a way to, or to write it, or to ask, or to send another prompt. That was something that I don't really like. But the other part was pretty functional.
But it's still far away from understanding what it really does. It's just predicting the next token. So it's a pattern matching of things that it was trained to do. So if it can was trained to understand cats and pictures and was trained on that, it will do really well. Yeah, but understanding then what is the next steps if you have identified 100 cats? So what would a large language model do after that? And asking like for the reasoning and opinions and stuff like that. Um, ask a large language model if it what would it do after identifying 100 cats? Would it get bored or yeah? So
If that was the question, because I'm not sure if you're asking me something, but I'm just thinking that yeah, I'm talking about Copilot. I'm still thinking about it. It was like, also can explain the code. It's something that you have already said that you're using in your daily tasks,
yeah.
daily basis. So it's still helpful, yeah. But I think it will take a lot of time, and even it gets better and better. Human control should be there, and that's when I talk in the start of our meeting about at the end of the system, we should be there so we can control and say yes, okay, uh, this thing passed, or no, sorry, that could not work with our code. So that's what I meant, that on the entrance point where we deliver the data, or other important stuff for AI to work, and the end of the system where we have the product generated, or code, or whatever. Uh, we should definitely be there and control that as of now.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
want to
so I
share
can.
something?
Yeah, I wanted to, but I actually cannot. Hold the shift key to select multiples. I just wanted to share one.
Mhm.
So, but why can't I? Oh, I have to allow this in my system settings. Okay, so Zoom may share. Okay. So the question that I had last week, for example, um, was like, I've never seen this three dot function in So cursor app components, not this one. Okay, I'll share this one. Okay. Okay, you can see something.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So I was actually asking, what does this three dot function do? Yeah, and then it starts explaining, and then I understand the what the code actually does. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
this I just opened a different project. So this is a Java project,
Yes.
but I didn't know about this three dot function in
Mm-hmm.
TypeScript or in JavaScript, and it's useful. The question is then, does it make sense to, instead of sticking the whole array as one single parameter into the function, does it make sense to split up the array, like my function 1, 2, 3, 4? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I rather question the logic. Is splitting up the array in the parameters of the function, is that the correct way of coding? Yeah. And that is somewhere that is, I to my understanding, this is still beyond what LLMs can do today. Yeah. So,
Yes.
but for example, this example here, this is good. Yeah. So um, adding the content of another array into this array, and then just using the three dots. If you understand the three dots, then it really makes sense because the line is shorter and everything. Yeah, but the understanding here to put it as a parameter on a function, I think this is not a very good idea. Yeah, so we are there. It is coming, and for me, it has been really really useful. I could not imagine my work without having an LLM at my side anymore. It's
See, and I um, keep reading and reading about recensions from big companies telling that this code inconsistent save their developers enormous percent of time
yeah.
for development, which is always good for the business, of course, and of
Mm.
course for the professionals because even writing a test case for the code, it's something that nobody likes. So even
Mm.
it can do it, and even that it's some kind of relief for the programmers and for developers.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, it can also help like people that are not so knowledgeable to actually bring their level up in a very short time frame. Yeah, so they actually have somebody at the side with a lot of knowledge, and they just grab the pieces and then stick them together. So the learning curve of freshers will be way more profitable. It will be so fast. Yeah?
definitely agree with you. Like this function to explain the code can help a lot of learners to get faster into uh,
Mm.
different languages, of course, programming languages. And yeah, I agree definitely that AI can be a great tool for learners and for people willing to start something new or learn something new fast enough. Maybe fast is not the right word, but yes, synchronized enough so they can get the most important topics from that, and they can start practicing it right away. So yeah, it's definitely good for that. I agree
Mm.
totally with you.
What do you think about the difference of using closed source models versus open source models? Because what I see, what I'm a little bit afraid of, that people start using those helpers, but the models become closed, and we cannot see what's inside and how it was trained, and on what data it was trained. So does it have a legal implication if I use a large language model which was trained on data that people not agreed to for being used in the large language model? Like, what about authoring rights and that stuff which we have in the music industry and the video industry and the news in the newspaper industry? So what does that mean for the coding industry, right?
I see your point. That brings me to one of our last newsletter editions, either user group newsletter editions in LinkedIn, and there is a column there about this AI Act, European AI Act, which is more or less trying to put some framework on AI use cases, basically putting them into few categories. And I think I can, like, in my mind was like there is a pretty high risk categories which are working with high sensitive data and maybe even like you are going in that direction. What if the AI is it's not open source, it's closed. They are trying to control that. By my opinion, it is too hard to do that because the things are going right now so quickly. Everything changed even for an hour, for hours, not for days. And
Mhm.
that's a good point from you. I'm not sure how this whole booming and the expansion would be controlled at all. I'm not sure even if it's possible because a lot of big economical powers, countries like China, uh, India, if you want, UAE if you want, and Saudi Arabia if you want, are creating their own models. That's not bad, but the regulation of on global level is it's not good at the moment. I don't think it's there is such kind of regulation, so they can uh, or we can just see what is happening, how it's happening, to be transparent enough for people like working like you and other guys who are working on daily basis with sensitive data, with code, with a lot of complex, mm, topics. So,
Just imagine the company X buys that, or let the government train on government data,
mhm,
and imagine that model gets leaked.
mhm,
So the whole knowledge of the government would be in that model, right?
mhm. Yes, and
Imagine the danger of losing such a model.
I cannot imagine that. But if even if I can, that brings me to another article which I read soon. It was like about, I'm not going to say the country now because I don't remember it, but it was like how one of the now LLMs, big LLM systems are, it is open source, I think. Will um, work with a government for their military industry, and that's frightening, because that's as we all see now what's happening even I'm telling that with smile, but what is happening right now in the whole world, it's frightening. And if the whole thing can be controlled or manipulated somehow from such a models, that would be really, really not good for us. Uh, Not good is the simplest word I can use now. So yeah, definitely we should be aware about that, but um, I didn't read article about somebody is doing something for it. So maybe we just have to wait, you know.
Yeah.
But I
Have
agree with
you,
you, of
have
course.
you, so I, so my conclusion on this, my 5 cents is it must be open source. It shall always be open source so that we can review it and reuse it and make it better, enhance it. So having the power of the LLMs in the hands of just a few super rich or super powerful companies is probably not a good idea. But in some cases, as with government data, I don't think it's a really good idea to have that in open source. Yeah, so there must be a distinction and the possibility to go both ways, right? Also for companies to have, if they train it on company data, um, this is hard, yeah. So if you do your work on open source model and then train it on your company data, um, do you have to actually release that enhanced model? Yeah. So do you have to um, put that also into open source? So that's probably an interesting question, but it is really important that the basics are at least open source.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, there is some kind of fundamentals at the moment because we are all seeing how companies, big tech companies, started like not open source, now are trying to be more open and open source. They are trying to get different uh, mm, to get on the direction of open source. They are trying to implement open source techniques, and I'm not going to mention names and so on and so, but there is some kind of that direction in development. So I hope
Mm,
they can go for it, and of course there is a lot of money involved there. So maybe that's the main reason for all of it. That it's taking it's taking too much time, and it's too slow. But hopefully, slow or not, the things are going to that direction. But that's only my hope. So maybe
mm.
we will see in the next few.
Let's see. Let's see. Did you
Years.
see my post on the open source stuff on LinkedIn?
I saw it pretty quick. I share it. If it's
Oh,
for that,
you shared it already.
if it's if it's for that documentary, yeah, I share it already. Yeah. It was
Ah, okay.
yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
But
So we're
to be
really
honest with
looking
you,
forward to that one.
mhm,
And the funny thing is, it contains also a lot of questioning and reasoning and asking. Um, so large language models about the concept and could this be enhanced or not, or but the creativity to getting in this video which we're doing to getting to the collaboration as being the fundamental stuff of innovation and the humanity growth. Yeah, it is always and it has always been collaboration. So when people stand together and help each other, this is where humanity all of a sudden wins. So
let's see.
it is about collaboration, and that is what we also see in the AI. You know lately is coming out, all the agents collaborating between each other. Yeah. So it's gonna be an interesting time, Ed. What I wanted to ask you is another thing. You mentioned you saw this Visual Studio plugin,
Mhm.
and what model was it using?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was using OpenAI, but there you can choose, I think,
Different models, right?
yes, you can choose
Yeah,
different models.
yeah.
I'm not sure which one from OpenAI it was, of course, because it
Mm,
was VS Code. I'm sorry, but I can review because I have it on demand also. I can review and share
yeah,
that with you later, definitely. Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
but
So I'm using I'm using Cursor a lot. So I actually replaced my Visual Studio
mhm.
with Cursor AI. I really, really love it. So that's right now my favorite tool for coding.
Uh-huh.
And I switched actually my search engine. I'm not using Google anymore. I'm using Perplexity constantly. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. I see. Uh, Maybe few months ago when Perplexity was not so popular, I wrote about it in our the forecaster in our newsletter. It was just gaining some
Mm,
powers, and I managed to try it even in beta. I think I managed to try it, and I was pretty impressed from my few
mm,
first few searches. It was like really great, something new, different, different,
mm.
and it really gives you all with documentation, with all the stuff. So it's really good for working, I think. And not only, of course, but give you the sources, give you if
Yeah.
you can. These sources are good or I mean good like trusted sources. So it's fine. Yeah. You can choose if you can trust them or not. So it's pretty cool. For you,
Maybe we could,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe we could investigate a little. Yeah, maybe we could investigate the next time we talk. Investigate a little bit deeper just on one thing and just have a look at Perplexity, how it works, what we like, what we find useful, what could be enhanced, or what we dislike.
Yeah, definitely. We can do that. Um, yeah, we also. I was thinking about, but because we shared already, we don't have any kind of agenda or scenario or something. I was thinking about before I sit here, what um I what get my attention last 2 weeks, and that was what was my attention to how people are
Yeah.
thinking AI will change the game, what will be how we are going to provide with definitely we should provide it with clear, structured, and good data, and that we have to check the end result at the end of the system because as we already know, the end result is not uh, every time the best we can expect. So yeah.
But that brings me to another point. I had a discussion with Michael Bolton how to test large language models. It is so hard to really do a good testing scenario on that. Yeah.
We can talk about it also.
Yeah.
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 So we have pretty much plenty of topics to talk about. So yeah, we are
Yeah.
we
So
are.
this is going to be the start of a good recording sessions and so on. Yeah. This is the second recording that we did.
This is the
Do we
second
are we going to upload
recording.
this already to YouTube?
Last one.
No, this one. The last one we didn't upload because it was kind of a private topic, but
Yeah, yeah. So now this one is recorded for us.
mhm.
I can upload it to YouTube. We can also I can also send it to you so we can uh, yeah see it, comment it, or and so.
Mhm.
But it's first one, yeah. So
Okay,
now
then
I'm going to stop the recording because we
yeah,
are like a little bit
running out of time.
out of time, yeah. And
Yeah.
okay.